Yourself by Vandana Saxena. So we have Vandana Saxena with us, and she has done her master's in zoology and a degree in education from University of Delhi. She has collaborated with global organizations such as Harvard University, Ashoka and Global Education Leadership Foundation, and honed her leadership skills so far. She has also designed tools and practices for a stress-free learning environment. And not to say she is an avid yoga teacher and a fitness freak person. You can definitely, I'm sure you're going to gain a lot in terms of well-being and learning from her. Over to you, Vandana. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Anki. Thank you for that warm introduction. And thank you, everyone, for being here with us. Hello, Rosie. Hi, nice to see you. And yes, well-being begins from self. So this workshop is essentially an interaction. It's going to be talking to ourselves more than each other. It's a reminder that, as you can see, the tagline, which is more my favorite, because no one else knows you better. Not your boss, not your mother, not your husband, not your children, but I think we know ourselves the best. We know our good points, the warm points, and the pain points. And even if sometimes we don't think that we are speaking the truth to ourselves, deep inside we know it's all in there. So this is going to be about me and me. Workshop. It's a session, a short session, and I hope time will permit me to share with you 3 practices, which I have found in my experience. I have benefited from these 3 practices, particularly in this phase of COVID-19, when we are all redesigning ourselves. So let's begin with design yourself, because no one knows you better. Yes, most important. Let's begin with ourselves, and we can all sit down wherever you are in a dignified posture. You may close your eyes, you may keep your eyes open, it's fine. Just get close to yourself, close to 2 things which are our best friends. The first layer is the breath and our heartbeat. Listen to your natural breath. There's nothing more beautiful in listening to the music that is inside us. Music is created with the sway of the breath and the tick-tock of your own heartbeat. Our best friends. Bring yourself to this present moment. Connect with the group that is present here. Each one of us bonding with each other in a soulful manner. Touch your heart. Let the energy flow, let the love reach the participants of this interaction. Thank you. So, yeah. So did you, in this moment of, I think it was not more than 1.5 minutes, in this 1.5 minutes, did you delve deeper into your thoughts? Did you experience your breath? Did you think of all that you wish for? And the experiences that make you as unique we are our experiences which are our own, and the memories which hound us and come back to us time and again. If you sit back and think for one brief second, think about what is this self made up of? Is it the body? Is it the bones inside? Or mind, which is never free? Or the beautiful experiences that stay with us? And of course, the hidden treasure which lays deep inside us. Have we been able to go beyond the thoughts to touch that treasure? Well, is it the grace of God? Or can we do it ourselves? These are some questions that I think of many a time. And I'm sure the participants here think of those as well. Before I move further, I would like you to interact. Any thoughts, any comments, any questions which I so welcome, please write them on the chat box. And at the end of this session, I'm going to keep time to talk of those questions, because from those questions, I'm going to learn and I'm going to be richer. My experience is going to turn more beautiful. So I'd be grateful to you for reaching out to each other and to me by writing those questions and comments. So let's move beyond the self. What is it that this journey brings for us? And what are the tools which is going to bring us closer to ourselves? There's some simple tools that I have put together. Just a second. Did I miss? Yes. So the first one is self-awareness. Awareness begins with, like I said, awareness of your breath, awareness of your heartbeat right now, the awareness of being together as a round glass community, drawing our attention to that hidden treasure that lays within us. If you get closer to yourself, there's an inner dialogue out there which continues, carries on and on and on. That music, that sometimes that changes into noise, bringing in self-doubt or self-confidence. As I sit here talking to you, reaching out to you through the computer screen, through this Zoom call, who am I? Where is this, what I'm saying, where is it emerging from? It's from the inner dialogue that I have with me all the time. So, you know, actually we can all change our inner dialogue. It's uncanny, it's mystical. It's also strange that we allow our inner dialogue to develop on its own, going with the flow. But have you ever thought about it? That if you were to develop your own inner dialogue, what is it that one needs to do? Let's take a brief moment, and I had requested as a preparation for the workshop to have a mirror, a small mirror with you. Have you looked into the mirror and looked into your eyes and talked to yourself? If you haven't done that, you're missing out on a very important part of you. So I request you, we're going to just take a minute, just 30 seconds maybe. Look into the mirror and look in your eyes. Ask yourself, are you happy? Are you happy? Are you confused? Am I fearful? And that's one thing that I've learned about speaking to the mirror. Don't lie. Because remember, no one knows you better than you. So there's no need to lie. Speak the truth. Stay in touch with your emotions. The mirror and the eyes in the mirror will reflect sometimes what we deny ourselves. The mirror reflects what we are feeling in that present moment. What do you think about yourself? What do I think about myself? Am I confident? Am I joyful? Well, who am I? That mother, the teacher, the principal of a school, a lady? The mirror will tell you all. Do I blame myself for something that in my understanding work out well? Is it a blame game? Are you pointing one finger at others? Because remember, the three fingers are pointing back at you. Every action that you take, is it purposeful? Is it intentional? Going with the flow is a good idea. If you want to experience life and make it more joyful, try adding a little intention. Ask yourself, what is my intention in attending this session today? Because time is like money. Money runs out and so does time. How you spend your time and money is your prerogative. It's my prerogative. I could be sitting here and thinking something else. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I doing justice to my time? Every minute of my day? That is self-awareness. During this session, we are going to talk about self-awareness, because of which we all have a self-image. My favorite quote, life is not about finding yourself, but it's about creating yourself. You know, lately I have started questioning myself, not in a confused manner, in a very strange kind of way, which prompts me to add my own personal identity, my unique self to anything that I do. And yes, we do have challenges, but can we escape our challenges? And don't we think that these challenges that are ours make us who we are? Make us Anushi, Rosie, Atul, Harmeen? We can't escape our challenges, so why don't we love them instead? If you think back at times when you learned to do something, well, the first challenge was we were born as infants, we didn't know how to walk. We wanted to run out of our mother's lap and walk like everybody else. Didn't we love that challenge which allowed us to walk and take off on our own into the world. Each one of us is very, very rich because of the resources that we have. Now you're going to ask me, are the resources in the bank? Think about it. The resources can be your friends, the network that you're with, the knowledge, the wisdom, the insights, the experiences that you have. Be grateful to God for the resources that you have with you. Hold on to them. And the third question, am I nothing? Am I just another fellow being on this earth? Am I unique? Well, each one of us wants to be recognized, loved, and appreciated. Can I not begin with self-love? Have I loved myself enough? Or every time that I did something, I raised the bar for myself? And am I audible, Anushi? Have I raised the bar for myself in such a way that instead of feeling joy in little moments, I'm always looking for something more? Think about it. Because these are some key questions which is going to help you create yourself. I recommend that you could write a journal. I recommend that you could record your voice. I recommend you could find songs to answer. Music can provide you answers. You can do it in your own unique way. I recommend you can paint. I recommend you can write adjectives about yourself. Look at the mirror. Hold it very close to your face. Look in your eyes. Remind yourself. Remember, in the Indian tradition, there is a belief. The name of the child must have a deep meaning in it. Because every time the name is called out, the child hears the name and that quality is reinforced in the child. So why can't we do it for ourselves? Looking in the mirror, why can't we say, I'm the best thing that happened to myself? Why can't I believe that this body-mind instrument is enough for me to be the best version of myself? Why can't I grow past that self-doubt which kind of holds me back from being the best version of myself? What can I do better? Well, discipline is the first thing that comes to my mind because I come from a background from the armed forces. And the best form of discipline is no doubt self-discipline. And when we think of self-discipline, the watch, the tick-tock brings to our mind a routine, a timetable we must create for ourselves. Sometimes it can pressurize us. Sometimes the timetable that forces us to move through the day I realized this especially during the COVID time. When I was watering the plants, I was thinking of the prayer time, which was to follow. When I was sitting at the prayer time, I was thinking of the cooking in the kitchen. And the timetable was actually driving me crazy. And remember, 24 hours in a day are going to end. Have we slotted 24 tasks in a day? Have we overburdened ourselves? Because self-discipline means setting a routine for yourself. Are we scared to commit to ourselves? Are we scared to set our own timetable where we take in 2 to 3 tasks in a day? Because then that would be telling the truth to ourselves. Am I fit just to do 3 things in a day? By writing out a timetable and sometimes overcommitting to our abilities, well, it happened with me. I would put down a list of 10 things that I wanted to do. And the result was, I just didn't seem to do justice. I didn't seem to get into and be joyful in the moment. So is the self-discipline important? Or I should just go with the flow? That's one question that I answered to myself. And I would request each one of you to answer it for yourself. But remember, to be the best version of yourself, to reach out to that hidden treasure, we need to have some, if we had some good habits, and habits don't come without the self-discipline. Where some wise person once said that whatever you repeat for 21 days becomes a habit. And if you do the same for 3 months, it becomes your culture. So self-discipline is important. But the trick is to make the practice into an experience of quality, where all our senses are synced into creating a moment of sustainable happiness. And this was one insight that came to me during my prayers. And bang, went out the long timetable I had set for myself. And remember, the routine need not be the same every day. If you're a person who likes to do many things, like we all do, you could set a routine where in a day, test your time management by setting just 3 tasks for yourself. Attempt doing them in the most creative way. And to do things in a creative manner, we have to get into the depth. And sometimes lose that sense of time to be ready with an original piece. It's like allowing yourself to experience the beauty in doing whatever you are. For example, now, in this half an hour, my intention is to touch everybody's heart and to set the spark of self-discovery and to remind each one of us that don't forget to love yourself, be kind to yourself. Because for a glass which is filled to the brim will pour out. If you don't heal yourself, if you don't connect to yourself, are we going to be able to reach out to the world with empathy and compassion? Learn to experience beauty. Learn to experience sustainable happiness. Happiness that stays with us for moments when the job is done. And for that moment, my mantra is what I've shared with you. Experience high quality habits. And for that experience, evolve your sense of self-discipline. Evolve it. We are not born with it. If you're aware of your strengths and weaknesses, work through your strengths. Because if you're working through self-discipline, is something which comes to us by doing things which we love. If we don't like something and we try to fit it in our routine and we're not going to enjoy that experience, we'll never get there. So be kind to yourself. You can work on your sense of discipline and time management by working on your passions, by things that you love. And from self-discipline comes self-regulation. So what is this meaning of self-regulation? Self-regulation means, for example, we have a voltage stabilizer. You fit it into every electrical appliance and regulates the voltage such that the appliance, supposing there's a high energy coming into the appliance, the voltage stabilizer has sensors of some sort and will filter out the right amount of voltage or the right amount of energy that gets into the appliance for it to work to its best capacity. Self-regulation is about, if you really ask me how it can be accomplished, everybody can have your own way. But for me, and also research proves that self-regulation comes through practice. And if we are able to practice some habits, something that we find joy in, something that we are passionate about, if you notice your breath at a time like that, you'll find a calmness in that breath. And in that calmness, you will automatically be your authentic self. In that calmness, when you are your authentic self, you will know what is right and what is wrong for you. Because remember, no one knows you better. And you have to design yourself. So self-regulation comes through practice. And if put very simply, this quote touched my heart. You know, it came from, as a teacher, if we can't, whatever, we may be PhD scholars, we may be masters of the content that we know, but if you can't explain what you're doing to a 7-year-old, we haven't understood it ourselves. So how about this quote? Do what you can with what you have and where you are. And trust me, if you regulate yourself, it's possible. It's this beautiful dog here brought a smile to my face, and I thought of sharing it with you. Well, the dog is his own coach, and he is holding the reins in his mouth, and he knows, or she knows, what is right or wrong for him, and he's going to pull the rein and control or change or maneuver and take himself to a more positive path, which will allow the expression of the authentic self, which lays within each one of us. I'm now going to share very quickly 3 practices with you. I know it's 7 o'clock, but I must share these 3 practices which I have experienced myself, and they can guide you to regulate yourself. These are some practices which allow you to watch your own behavior from a distance. Well, that sounds strange, but I'll give you very practical tips about how this association and disassociation can be done. Association and disassociation can help us eliminate negative feelings of self-doubt, which emerge essentially from insecurities and fears within us. So the way to do it is, I was also taught by my guru, by my teacher. So I'm sharing the practice that he taught me. And the foundation of this practice comes from the Indian Vedanta, and it is reflected in the Western culture and the modern practices through the NLP techniques. So sitting in the chair, you can try doing it with me. Close your eyes and identify an emotion of self-doubt that you want to eliminate. and go back in time when you experience, for example, for those of us who are scared to step up on stage and address an audience and feel shy addressing it. Visualize yourself. The mind is highly imaginative. Visualize yourself sitting in the chair. Bring those emotions of self-doubt to yourself where you have felt shy. Get deeper into that. Allow yourself to experience that feeling of self-doubt in as much depth as you can. Experience it. Bring in all the emotions that fall with it. I'm shy. I'm shy. I can't face the audience. I mean, I can't face the Zoom call. I mean, I could have been slimmer. My nose could have been shaped much better. I could have read a lot more. I want to talk like Amitabh Bachchan. I'm not good enough. I mean, what are people going to say? Am I ready to face the audience? Because I want to be known as the best that has ever been. Just allow the feelings of self-doubt. Associate with that insecurity, fear, take it to the depth. Sitting in the chair, feel it. And then try to pull yourself out of it. Pick yourself up from the chair and try to walk away and bring yourself back again. And try to walk away again. Bring yourself back again. And then, with a little push, you can get up. Get up. Keep your eyes closed. Because you know yourself better. Feed in. Imagine you are sitting in front of yourself. Feed in that sense of self-confidence. Feed in a lot of love. Bring up the knowledge that belongs to you. Bring out the learning from the challenges which were your own. And how do you feel now? You know, self-affirmation, self-confidence must come from within us. Find your body language change and sit back again. How do you feel? You find body posture changes automatically. Because that is association and dissociation. Association means associating with that feeling of self-doubt, experiencing every negative emotion that came with it, trying to disassociate from it and making suggestions to yourself, feeding it. This all works, and you may ask me, this is all very abstract. And it all comes from your imagination. But remember, anything that was invented or created, or music or art or science, it came from the imagination of the human being. So try it. It's a very powerful practice, and it will help you regulate yourself and make you a more positive version of yourself. Very quickly, Anushi, do I have the time to talk about this, or would you like me to address questions now?
No, I think you can take 5 more minutes. That's okay. Continue.
Thank you. So,
I must say,
thank you, because I don't want to hold people beyond the time. So you can tell me, because after this, I have one more slide to share. But I want to talk about anchoring yourself or creating rituals for you. But the one thing that I realized through COVID and staying at home and working from home and being with the family is we don't celebrate ourselves enough. So this creating rituals is actually about celebrating anything that we did well. Celebration can be in many different ways. Celebration can be sipping your morning cup of tea, watching the sunrise. Celebration can be setting up a corner for yourself, adding everything that you love in that corner. Celebration can be, think about it, why do we celebrate? Well, celebration brings in a change of mood. And many a time during COVID and any other crisis, or being in a school or through life, there are times when you're suddenly feeling very, very low and you find you're going into a downward spiral. Create a ritual for yourself. The ritual I found, if you look at yoga, there are many body postures which help you elevate your energy automatically. If you hold on, this is a posture. If you press, there are some nerve points over here. Like this. Snap your fingers. Clap your hands. Or, even when I'm talking to you right now, you'll find there are some body postures that I'm making. And these body postures are my own. You can create those body postures for yourself. Like, let me explain it in a simpler manner. When I was an adolescent, I had this problem of rage within me. I would get angry and I would seethe inside, and I expected people should understand that I was upset, and so hence they should come to me. The people I had been working for and my family should understand. My mother should know that I'm sad. My father should know. My brother should know. So there were a lot of shoulds. And that continued for some time with me, when I was married or in the first job that I was in. I would be angry and I would sink into a low sensation. I would cry for hours. My energy there was no self-regulation then. I was soon to realize that, well, it's not going to help. And nobody really knew what I was going through. So I set up a ritual for myself. The ritual was something simple. The ritual was, the moment I started, my energy level started plummeting. The first one that I did, I started with this one. I don't know what about this. This came to me through my teacher. He taught me. Something that elevates the nervous system from touching 2 points under your chin. Try it. There's something which elevates your energy if you tighten your body structure. Close your eyes, tight. Let go. There's something which elevates your energy by just clicking of your fingers. There's something which begins in your body just with the clap of your hand. There's something which triggers in your body if you just smile. So like they say, fake it till you make it. With every negative emotion that creeps into you, create a ritual. For example, I'm moving my hand like this. And I'm aware that I'm doing it with a lot of awareness. I'm moving my hand like this. I'm a very kinesthetic person. So I'm allowing movement to my hands. And this is giving me deep joy and better concentration when I talk to you. Now this ritual, over a period of time, since I've just attached a feeling of elevation with it. Well, nobody told me that I am kinesthetic, and if I do this, it will elevate my energy. I have told this to myself. Whenever next I have to sit for a long period of time in a conference and I feel the need to move, I would be found doing this. Automatically, a trail of thoughts would run within me and my energy would be sublimated. I don't know. Have I made sense? I mean, you can ask me questions about it because you have to set your own rituals. Rituals are anchoring yourself to a certain body posture, as simple as it can be. It has to be your own creativity, and you have to know, remember, because you know yourself the best. Your inner self or your inner mind will guide you what works for you. So work on that. And the last one, for which I had requested all of you to carry pictures of yourself, 10 pictures of yourself. If you've done that, please place the pictures around yourself and create a story. Create your own story. Your own story of your personal journey and your professional journey. Because there are some pain points, there are some turning points in our lives. And there are some points which didn't succeed for us. We have to narrate our own story first to ourselves and make it more interesting. Share it with others. Place your pictures around yourself and find the expression in your eyes. Look at your eyes. Look at your body postures. Have you changed? Are you the same? Well, pictures do have a story to tell. It's the truth. And just for that brief second, do you want to be a big musician? What is your ambition? Model yourself. I mean, if you sketch, or if you can make a picture of yourself, or you could take help from somebody, fill in everything that you want within yourself. Keep those pictures ahead of yourself and create your story. Well, the Indian tradition and culture say that a story was created and it came with us. The choice is yours. You want to believe it. You can change your story. You can make it more beautiful. Do you enjoy talking to yourself about your own story? Do you have the time to tell the story to yourself? Have you introduced yourself to yourself? Well, I was a child. I was born. My parents, my father was this, my mother was this. What about me? What about my journey? Is it an interesting one? Can I narrate it to myself time and again? That's the question we must ask ourselves. And the story is not there to stay. It's not stagnant. The story changes. You can take inputs from, maybe you can narrate it today evening on the dinner table to your family and read their expression. Maybe you can narrate it tomorrow morning to yourself in the mirror again. Maybe you can look at the pictures and snap the pictures. You can change the sequence of the pictures because they are your own. Create your own story. Because storytelling is the most powerful and the most creative way towards personal growth. Close your eyes and visualize. I'm not going to say the cliched thing by saying, where do you see yourself 10 years hence, or 5 years hence, or 3 years hence? Enough of that. Where do you see yourself 1 hour later? More joyful, more happy. And the hour after that? Where do you see yourself at the end of this presentation? More joyful, more happy, more in control of yourself, more closer to yourself, more in sync with your senses, more mindful of what you would do. That is what creates a story. Your own story is created from the minute to minute, how you join one moment to the next moment. Try it, it's beautiful. And that's the call for action that I want to make today. I've already taken more time than was given to me. And with that, I'm open to questions, any comments, any discussion, any suggestions. I would be happy to take them. Anushi, are there any questions or comments in the chat box? I would ask you to share your reflections. Anybody could unmute your mic and speak about the reflection from today.
I think there is an interesting comment by Chandani said. She mentions that self-regulation is one of the way by which we can get real happiness and make others happy too. So I think that's a great.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Chandni. Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with you. Would you like to talk more about it, Chandni? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, would you like to talk about what you wrote? That's a beautiful comment. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I think that when we are happy, obviously, when we are happy, then only we can make others happy too. Because when you are, for example, today I'm not in the mood of cooking, and if somebody will say me that you have to cook, I will feel like no, I don't want to cook. But yes, if I'm happy, I'm in the mood of doing cooking, or if somebody will say, do you want to do cooking today? I will say yes, and I will do it with happiness, and other people will also feel happy. And I think there is some aura, or we say that vibrations that goes into the thing when we are doing with happiness. And if we are doing something with negativity, then obviously it will go as a negativity. And I've learned all this from you, ma'am. We have learned a lot of things in school also. Ma'am always teaches that always be happy and stay positive. Only then you can pass energy to others also. So this is my meaning, like when we are positive, we will spread happiness, others will be happy too around us. And if we are negative, obviously other around us will be negative. So this is a aura or positivity or negativity connected with each other. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ma'am, should I say something?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
The thing that I noticed today, that the things you were telling were out of your own experience. Nothing was hypothetical or theoretical, that I felt.
Okay.
So actually, it is a good sign that because you have experienced it, that's why the confidence or the depth there there it was. This is what I felt.
Yes, Ashish, yes, thank you. You see, I don't want to say that with each passing year, well, that may sound cliched, but it's the truth. With each passing day, one thing that I find is most important and makes a person most interesting is, and you know, what I realize is that when we are trying not to be ourselves, everybody knows. Everybody knows. So why try to be something that we are not? And why not uh, experience the joy and the pleasure of your own personal existence? Why not? And that is what this session is about. That we are our own masters and we can design ourselves with the choice of tools which can be our own. Yes, mentorship helps. Coaching helps. Yes, it helps and is recommended. Talking to each other helps, no doubt about it. Yes. So I have Palak Kanojia. She's okay. So I'm going to talk about failure. Well, how do you evaluate failure? The moment we think of failing, it means we are comparing ourselves again with maybe others. Well, don't feel you're a failure, because remember, you have to love your challenges. And it's your challenges which make you a better person. And one thing that I've learned is whatever you desire or whatever you wish, it'll come to you. It'll come to you. So be patient and wait, and don't feel a failure. Be kind to yourself. You're not behind anybody else because you're not in a race. None of us are in a race. So don't feel that way. Yes, thank you. Would anybody else like to say anything? Any comments?
Manmit Kaur mentions embracing our imperfections. That's a nice comment.
Yes, that's beautiful. Manmeet, would you like to talk about that?
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. So, embracing our imperfections can be something like accepting our own self, because each and every one has flaws and they should be beautifully accepted if we want to grow and nurture throughout our lives. If we'll keep on cribbing on them, so we won't be able to grow. So, growth is something which takes all the things, take your whole personality as a whole.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anu mentions giving happiness to others is a true happiness.
Beautiful comment. Anu, would you like to elaborate on that?
Vandana, and I was just
तो मेरा फोन लेकर तो
your
जाओगे
session, and I felt that there are days when we are not happy ourselves, but a moment of kindness, a moment of polite word, a moment of concern and care to anybody, and the smile they show on their face, that, you know, makes your day. So today I was feeling a bit low, but you know, when I try to make one person happy by just helping, one of my students was asking for some help and I helped her, and I felt suddenly that moment I'm alive, and it filled me with you know, a great satisfaction, and it changed the day. So maybe that is why this particular feeling was coming to me again and again.
Yes, very well said, Anu. See, those are the anchors that I was talking about. And I love this expression. You said that you felt alive again. And those are the anchors. It's a beautiful anchor to have, that you just help anybody. And that's a sure shot anchor. It's bound to work. Thank you for sharing that, Anu.
Yeah, I never thought that it would work like that. But yes, after doing it, I felt there was a change in the entire, you know, feeling.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charu Malhotra and Rajni Arora have some thoughts on failures. Charu mentions on failure is when you give up. Rajni Arora mentions fail means you are not losing anything, you are getting new opportunity in your life.
Yes. Beautifully well said. Charu, would you like to elaborate on failure is when you give up? Let's hear that. That sounds
Good
interesting.
evening. Good evening, everyone. Basically, when you think that you are failing, it means you have to come again. You have to get some more energy from yourself and start again. It is not fail. It is you have an opportunity once again. The God is giving you an opportunity to do it again. It is one more opportunity given to you to prove yourself. So when you give up, so that exactly means failure. So giving up is not the solution. You have to get up and try again. So that is the main thing. Thank you, ma'am.
Nice. Rajni, would you like to elaborate about failure?
यस मैम का मतलब ये नहीं है कि भी आपने सब कुछ खो दिया अपने लाइफ में फेल हमें अपनी लाइफ में ये चीज बताती है कि भी आप आगे के लिए अपने आप को कितना प्रिपेयर कर सकते हो तो वही है ना कि ट्राई अगेन जैसे प्रैक्टिस मेक्स अ मैन परफेक्ट इन दिनों जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी मैं सीख रही हूँ फॉर एग्जाम्पल। तो बार बार मुझे नहीं, कई बार जल्दी से नहीं समझ आता, तो बार बार ट्राई करने पर मुझे है कि 30-40% मुझे समझ आने लगा है अब। तो इसलिए मैंने ये बात बोली है कि अगर आपको शुरू शुरू में कुछ नहीं भी समझ आता तो आपको घबराना नहीं चाहिए, आपको बार बार ट्राई करना चाहिए। तो आपको कुछ ना कुछ मतलब जो फेलियर है वो एक नई चीज सिखा जाता है, चाहे वो छोटी हो चाहे बड़ी हो।
Beautifully, very well said. That means there's newness in failure. मतलब अगर फेलियर ही नहीं होगा तो सभी चीजें सेम चलती जाएंगी and that makes life boring. Yes, very well said. Very nice. Thank you, Rajni. Thank you, Charu.
थैंक यू।
There's a beautiful comment from Gurman for you, Vandana. It was very peaceful listening to you, ma'am. I've always felt that we are so empty within and we keep on looking for love, positivity, and attention around. I feel blessed to be a part of Tribune Model.
Thank you, Gurman. I am blessed to have you by my side. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
You want to say something, Gurman?
No, ma'am, but deeply touched by today's conversation, and I think my journey, even till date, it has been a very short journey till now, but it has been wonderful. The conversation that day in the program, that was my first program with the entire staff. It was about God and man. So I think by joining this institution, I'm getting more and my personality as a person. I think I'll be able to evolve into much, much better person. So, and I feel really blessed.
Thank you. We are happy to have you with us, Gurman. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I think Yogast Bhave mentions there is nothing like success or failure. There are only lessons life has to teach us.
That's a very deep thought. Would you like to talk about that?
Good evening, Vandana ji. How are you?
I'm well, Vikram. Good evening.
Actually, what happens is that we all come with a set agenda in life. With certain things we have to do. And to do those things, we obviously have to learn here on earth. So the important thing is to, if we keep on taking each experience as a learning, then there are no sad experiences that we carry. And then what happens is our growth is very fast. I'll just finish with one example that Mahatma Gandhi used to say, whenever someone criticizes me, I decide to answer them back and prove that they are wrong. And in proving people wrong, he became a Mahatma. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Vikram.
I think that's it, the comments from everyone. If anybody has a question, can go ahead and ask.
Would anybody like to unmute your mic and ask a question? Anything?
Actually,
there are no questions.
Actually, just one question. I have this bad habit of not staying connected to important people in my life. I find time for everything except those 5 minutes to call up somebody and say that I just remembered you. So like you mentioned, setting a ritual to yourself, thanks to you, I've decided today I will set out at least 5 to 10 minutes every day and call up people whom I want to talk to. Thank you.
Yeah. You've answered it for yourself. That's a self-image we have created for ourselves, that I have this bad habit. It's about just changing that self-image and just doing that one thing which is going to allow you to outgrow that self-image and change the look in the mirror for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it, I think, Vandana.
Yes.
Wonderful session. and
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank
audience.
you.
Thank you for asking so many questions and opening up our mind.
Thank you for the support, and thank you for taking care of everything for me, Anushi. Thank you, Round Glass, for having me here. Really grateful. Thank you so much.
I'm really grateful to have you here, and thank you so much for those wonderful insights and sessions. Thank you.
Always
Thank you, everyone.